Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Are DIY reuniting as a heel act? I am Luke Owen. This is El Fakador Laurie Blake, and welcome to the post-NXT WrestleRamble review, where, let's talk about that, frankly, brilliant main event angle. The brilliant main event, but the angle afterwards. Holy heckins.
Unbelievable. Fairly believable. I feel like this was kind of where you would have been going with this all along, but it's so nice to see it play out after however long we've been building up to this idea of like them breaking up, them falling out, them slowly working each other over, sending each other crazy, obsessing over each other, and now just that moment.
Yeah. Oh, the hands come together. Yeah. So if you haven't seen the show, essentially it was set up last week. It was going to be a cage match between Johnny Gargano and Aleister Black. Well, it was set up a couple of weeks ago. It was announced the following week. So they're now going to have this cage match. Was it last week or was it a couple of weeks ago?
It was last week. Was it? Maybe it was 2 weeks ago.
I can't remember. I could barely remember.
It was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I thought it was. So anyway, cage match was set up between Gargano and Aleister Black. Aleister Black is already facing Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship at Phoenix. That's already been announced. This wasn't like a number one contendership match or anything like that.
This was just a blow-off match.
A blow-off match, exactly, because Aleister Black had said that he had absolved Johnny Gargano of his sins, but Gargano said, I didn't have any sins, mate.
Yeah,
so
I was clean.
You didn't absolve me of nought.
I'd been to a confession before I went into the ring.
Exactly. So these two had this match, and it was a really, really great back and forth match. Black had it won at one point. He could have left, but he decided to go back in to make sure he has absolved Black of his sins this time round. At least that's, the sort of story they were telling. And then it gets to a spot where they both do a double down, and Gargano is climbing up on one side of the ring, and Aleister Black is trying to climb out the door on the other side of the ring.
Johnny has made the wrong choice there.
Yeah, it's easier to go out the door, really.
The door. Always go
for the door. But like Black's crawling and this the other, and he gets himself sort of out, and then Tommaso Ciampa runs down from the back and smashes the door against Aleister Black's head and sends him back inside. Johnny Gargano at this point has already more or less climbed out. Like all he has to do is drop down and he's won.
He's halfway down the other side.
He's halfway down the other side. But he sees this, and he climbs back inside the ring and gets down into the corner. And as Ciampa gets into the corner, they just happen to be in the positions they would be for their old DIY finish of the running knees and legs and
meet in the middle.
The meet in the middle. And yeah, they sort of look at each other. The crowd, as soon as Ciampa stepped through the ropes, the crowd are chanting DIY. Like it was really, really great. DIY. It was really, really cool. And they do the hand pose. Like as Ciampa's like guiding him into doing it, being like, Come on now, we're going to
do it. You know how this goes.
Gargano's acting in this segment. Oh, and this angle was so good. Really sold like the internal struggle of what was going on, whether he wants to be doing this, is this the right thing to be doing? And they do the kick, and as soon as they do the meet in the middle, Gargano is instantly selling it, just like, what the hell just happened? What did I just take part in? But Ciampa is having a whale of a time. He's bloody loving it.
Stood on the outside, waving back in.
I'd say, yeah. And he goes outside and he watches as Gargano pins Aleister Black.
Who's been down for a good, 30 seconds.
Way to put over that finish. Yeah. Like, that's a big old strong finish. And Ciampa's like walking backwards up the ramp, slowly clapping. His boys, Johnny's done it. And I can't put over how good Gargano was in this segment. Like, I can't put it over enough. Yeah. It was so good.
I just love everything about this. I just think it's so... This is exactly what I wanted to see from this story. I wanted to see, like, if we're going to tell Johnny falls to the dark side, let's do it. Like, because that makes the eventual, if there is a redemption angle, even more positive, because it feels like Johnny is brainwashed here. It very much feels like there are moments where he keeps coming out of himself and being like, what am I doing? Why am I doing any of this? And then as soon as he sees Ciampa, he's like, no, you know what? I'm going to be vicious. I'm going to be ruthless. I'm going to do whatever it takes to, one, get a shot at him, but two, kind of just be guided by him to do whatever he's saying now.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because that's Johnny's whole deal at the moment, is he wants to rid NXT of Tommaso Ciampa, but at the same time, he's sort of now working alongside him and being, as you said, sort of like goaded into certain things by him, into this sort of darker side. And like Ciampa Black was playing up the other week during this promo segment to set this up that Ciampa was the puppet master.
Yes.
And he was the one that was sort of controlling all of these things. And it's just being told so well that he is the puppet master and Gargano is Pinocchio. But he's, before he becomes a real boy.
That makes Ciampa Geppetto.
Yeah, Geppetto, exactly.
He's the
yeah.
puppet.
He's the
No
old
one
man.
ever called Geppetto the puppet master.
Did they not?
No, I don't think so.
I think I read a different one. Maybe I'm thinking of the Puppet Master series of films.
He just made a puppet. He wasn't the puppet master. He wasn't.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking of Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, where Joe Petto had created a puppet.
Geppetto was just a carpenter.
Yeah, he made an action figure come to life in
Did he get
Silent
eaten
Night,
by a
Deadly Night
whale?
5.
Was that a thing he did? I don't know.
Anyway, so
Pinocchio goes mental at the end. There's no point paying attention.
this was a great match, though. A really, really terrific cage match. And while I was watching it, I was trying to think, I was trying to think of a cage match that I've enjoyed as much as this in recent memory. And we've seen some really fun cage matches. I think like the Braun Strowman Big Show cage match on Raw last year, which was just like two big dudes doing big dude things, and that was all fun and stuff. And I'm not really counting War Games or Hell in a Cell matches in any of this. Just like pure steel cage matches. And I couldn't really think of anyone that might have been like, oh man, yeah, that was probably a better Hell in a, or like almost as good as this Hell in a Cell match. But this was just terrific.
It's one of those things with like steel cages, I guess. Is the problem is when you've also got Hell in a Cell in the same company and now War Games. Steel cage looks a bit meek, really.
Yeah,
it's a bit lame.
Yeah, it's a bit lame.
It's a bit like, oh. And also I think because all the different rules now is like you can climb out, you're allowed to go out the door, someone will literally open it for you, and you can pin them and submit them. It's like, let's go back to just you can climb out. That was a good rule.
It was funny enough, because the way it used to be was like you just had to pin them because the whole point of cage is that you weren't supposed to escape. Like there was no escape.
Exactly, yeah.
But now there was like, and then we added the rule in that you can escape, and now we can add the rule in that you can also walk out the door. The walk out the door thing I've always thought was lame.
Well, it's just on a lot, and then I mean it works here, but it only really works as a stipulation if you're going to have interference, because otherwise it's just two people in a cage. It's not,
exactly,
and it's not like the no escape thing anymore. They never build up to that. So.
Yeah, but there was some really, really great stuff in this. The one point I really wanted to go through is when, so like they're on the apron, they're on the ropes, like against the cage, and Gargano dives off, and he gets this amazing powerbomb off of this. But they do the spot again later on where Black's up there, and he tries to do the K-Brada, but Gargano sort of like jumps like with him. Where have I got here? So, K-Brada. Black tries the K-Brada, but Gargano jumps up with him and hits the side Russian leg sweep. That's right. So he went up to do the K-Brada.
Yes, yeah.
Then Gargano jumped up onto the ropes with him, side Russian leg sweep off of it, and then rolled that through into the Gargano escape. So cool. And then Black powers up out of that and throws him into the cage, but Gargano's hold on to the hold. So as soon as he bounces off, he's just back into the Gargano escape again. That was so good. And I think the crowd weren't great all night. I think this was very much at the end of a taping schedule. Yeah. Because the crowd were quiet for quite a lot of this show.
Yeah.
Until this happened. And I think it was that they were reacting to these people like they were stars. And they reacted to this like it was the most important angle in NXT, and really it is. You and I have done our NXT year in review episode that will be going up next Thursday. I believe it goes up next Thursday. And in that we sort of talk about how NXT this year has been the story of Gargano and Ciampa. It's been their year.
It's the defining story of the whole thing.
Absolutely, the defining story. It started in January. Here we are at December. It's still going on, but yet has never felt overexposed.
No,
not like when AJ and Nakamura had they had 12 matches in the space of 4 months, and it was just after a while you're like, God, I'm ready for this feud to be over. Yeah. Or AJ Joe, and you're like, God, I'm ready for this feud to be done with. To be honest with you. They've done this for 12 months. And even if you consider they've done this for 12 months, in theory, they also did it for the year previous to that because they were still doing Ciampa stuff even when he was injured. And you go back and it was at the Cruiserweight Classic in 2016 when they were DIY. And this sort of 2 and a bit years we've been telling the story. And at the moment, God, it's at its most interesting at the moment.
Well, it's crazy because it's been the main event without being really rightfully the main event. It's only recently been about the title, or anything to do with. And even then, it's not really about the title. Like Johnny doesn't want Black because of Ciampa because of him being the champion. he just wants him. He's just like, I just want to beat you up.
Just wants to get rid of him.
It doesn't, and it makes no difference, I think, whether he wins the title or not.
And for Ciampa, in that character sense, it's brilliant because for him, defending that title, or not defending that title, keeping that title is the most important thing to him. So the more he can distract Johnny away from, like, oh, you want to take the title away from me, or like trying to destroy Aleister Black so that Black doesn't stand a chance in taking Goldie away from him. It's masterful storytelling. It's masterful storytelling. It's brilliantly acted. It's excellently performed. I love this feud.
I'm so interested to see, one, where it goes at Phoenix, and what Johnny's involvement will probably now be in that match. Because you've got to imagine that's coming up. But then also this whole, like, how is this Puppet Master thing going to play out? You know, like, I'm interested to see, because it's obviously something that could go very wrong if you've not thought about the finish of this. Like, if you've not gone, we know where it's going at the end. Yeah. And we're dropping seeds. But I'm fairly confident that they do know, because this whole story, everything that's happened so far has been perfectly plotted. So if they've gone in with Puppet Master and they don't know the difference between their Joe Pettos and their Geppettos, then
could be in trouble. Could be in trouble, lads. But yeah, I just think this was great. A really, really great ending to the show. There was like, I mean, it was a fine episode of NXT. I'd say I thought it was all right. Like, but this match and closing angle really pushed it over into being like, God, you've got to go out your way to see this. And even like when we came into the office, Ollie Davis quite famously doesn't watch NXT because, quote, he hasn't got enough time in the week to watch it. But this is all he wanted to ask us about. Is like, what was the cage match like? What was that post-match angle like? We were kind of talking through it. He's like, that sounds so good. Yeah. It sounds so awesome. And I'm like, yeah, man, watch it.
Yeah. Why is there not these angles everywhere else in the company?
Well, me and Ollie were doing our I think it was our 2019 prediction video, or it might have been our 2018 best and worst moments video. That's going to be going up like in the next week or so. And in that, we said like, when Ciampa and Gargano just go to the main roster, really, they should just give everyone the script that they did for this feud and just be like, just do this again. Yeah. It doesn't really matter. No one really watches NXT, so we can just do this again on the main roster.
And people are happy with that.
And we'll do it again from scratch, and we'll just pretend like it didn't happen over here, and everything will be fine. Just don't deviate from this script.
Yeah, that's all people were saying about the Sasha and Bayley thing. They were just like, you know, people were just sitting there going like, that was brilliant in NXT. Why don't you do that? Why do you keep teasing it like anyone cares? Like, because, you know, the NXT audience is such a smaller portion of the overall WWE audience. Just teasing a Sasha Banks-Bayley feud is a bit like, what is the point of teasing this? Most people just sitting there going, oh, they seem like nice friends.
Yeah, or we're getting women's tag team titles.
Yeah, exactly.
It's either leading to one of those things. They're either best friends or it's tag titles. It doesn't really feel like this going into a feud, despite what the start of 2018 told us. Good crikey. Right, well, I'll tell you what, let's give some shout-outs to the $25 and above pledge hammers, and then we'll crack into the main NXT review. It's time to give a shout out to our $25 and above pledge hammers who have donated to our Patreon page over at patreon.com/WrestleTalk. Thank you so much. You do help keep the lights on in this room, and I hope you've enjoyed all of your extra bonus content, like mine and Ollie's review of ECW December to Dismember 2006. A god-awful show.
They loved it.
Oh, it was bad. It was...
The atmosphere in the office when they were watching it was delightful.
Very, very bad.
Please vote for more things like that.
Yeah, let's not. I'd like to do... Well, we think in January it'll either be a Rumble or it'll be a Wrestle Kingdom. Like, right. I think that's probably where we're heading in January. Nah. Don't vote for any more 2006 stuff, please.
You're going to watch all of the Marine films.
I'd much rather watch any of those Marine films rather than like December to Dismember or any 2006 pay-per-view, because good Lord, it was bad. But anyway, so these are our $25 and above pledge hammers. So a big shout out to John Secret Santos. Oh, Johnny boy.
Well done, John. Big Apple Takedown, Lindsay Monroe.
Oh, Big Apple Takedown. There's the book. We read it on Ramble Club. Butter me up, Soren Norder. See, Soren, like a bit like Soreen. That's where I was going with that one, yeah.
Harry and the Hendersons, Burgess,
yes. Burgess. Robin Banks, Lee Roberts. Robin Roberts, sort of sound the same.
One, Ryan B. Bad.
Oh, Ryan B. Bad. He's a bad boy. That is a tasty Tim Heidenberger. Yeah, like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Very overworked punnage. Probably better than Kyle Philip O'Reilly.
It's tough, because Kyle O'Reilly's very good.
He is very good.
Tough one.
He gives good face.
He does. The Blueprint, Owen Morgan. That was one that he requested himself as a tribute to Matt Morgan.
Is that the Mexinadian Anthony Ibanez?
Yeah, well, good pronunciation, because I was struggling with that one. Really was struggling.
It's probably wrong.
Noah Edward Enigma. Welcome back to the $25 level, my friend. Welcome back.
I think he's talking to you, Damian Thompson.
It's a Simpsons joke. I think he's talking to you. Matthew Thibault, this city on rock and roll. Yes. Or it could be Tybolt, I don't know. But it's Tybolt, that's this city.
Another part of me, MJ. I think we could have made this bigger. Afamasaga.
I
think.
Another part of me, MJ.
Yay.
Here we go. It's a Michael Jackson reference. Alan, now shut up, Clark. Oh, it's a small soldiers joke.
The nobleman, Matt Noble.
Nobleman Matt Noble, who met Ollie Davis the other day.
Ooh.
He sent in a Rusev Hey for our Patreon for the podcast and was like, "Yeah, I met Ollie Davis. He's taller than I expected," which apparently a lot of people say. Let off some steam, Dom Bennett. Yes. Commando.
And I ran Tabori.
Yeah, and because his name's Ran Tabori, so I was going with, and I ran Tabori.
Yeah, you have to. This is why you have to read your terrible puns.
This is basically what I do. Like every month, I just sit there and be like, "What laboured pun
Yeah.
or reference can I
put
make?"
them in. You need to put the references in brackets when we're reading them.
Oh, yeah, that probably would help, wouldn't
Do
it?
the last one.
Astounding Abdullah Alenzi. Yes, he is astounding. You're all astounding. Thank you very much. Happy holidays. We'll see you in the new year. Or we'll speak to you right now, because we're going to review the rest of NXT, which opened with a great video package about that cage match between Black and Gargano, and then we got our opening contest of Shari and Dakota Kai taking on the in-ring debut of Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir. Interestingly, not without Baszler, but they did come out to Baszler's music.
They did come out to Baszler's music. And also, for a very brief period, it said Queen of Spades. on the screen, it was like, Queen of Spades, Duke of Shafir.
Yes. Quickly change it.
Do the fader.
Yes. Jessamyn Duke and Marina Shafir, their in-ring debut. I was really excited to see this. And I like that they're a tag team already. They've got matching gear.
Yep.
They wrestle like the same way, basically.
Let's play, let's fight, is it?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. Yeah, and they've got sort of like camo stuff. They look really cool as a pairing. I really like Jessamyn Duke, particularly. I think she's got a really good look about her. I think she's very cool. She's very intense, very shouty as a wrestler, is Jessamyn Duke, is what I discovered.
She really screamed on that neck crank. She was like,
She was so loud, I had to... I was watching this in my office, and I had to turn it down because my wife was trying to do yoga in the next room, trying to be all peaceful and serene. You got Jessamyn Duke in the other room going, I'm bending your head slightly. Done it, Dakota. Whee. So yeah, she's a very shouty wrestler. But Marina Shafir is definitely the Kyle O'Reilly of this group. The way she moves around the ring, the way she's very much she's quite goofy in a way.
Yeah.
But she almost feels like this beautiful mixture of Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, her real life husband. It's a really good act. I'm quite into Duke and Shafir as a team.
I think she's charismatic, isn't she?
Yeah.
She really pulls off that sort of, and it's been things like that with the sort of Baszler winning as well. Like she's the one slides in for a hug or something with Baszler. It's just quite funny.
Yeah, I think it was when Baszler won, and because of all their interference, and she was like, "It was all you, all you,
man."
So yeah, this was crowd was so quiet for this, which I was surprised about because I thought they might be quite loud because it is the in-ring debut of Shafir and Duke, but also it's Shari.
Her first NXT match.
Yeah, and so I thought this would be quite. The crowd should be really into this, and people really like Dakota Kai as well. So I thought that I thought people would be hot for Shari at the very least. So it was. I'm guessing it was late in the taping day.
Yeah.
So crowd a bit burnt out, a bit tired. So I guess that makes sense, really. But yeah, I mean, really, my notes are that they worked over to Kai for a long time, and it really was just Duke and Shafir working over Kai, and then she gets the scorpion kick, tags in Io, who has this amazing hot tag and runs wild, and it's just
619 slingshot drop kick, and then straight into setting up for the Asai moonsault.
Absolutely.
Running double knees and then the moonsault.
Yeah, and her running double knees better than Andrade Cien Almas's. I thought Shari looked.
I think it's because they look less safe. It's why here's a pretty here are my knees, either side of your head.
Yeah.
Don't move. Hers are here are my knees on your chest.
Yeah, here are my knees. you're in the way.
Yeah.
I'd really like to kneel.
Yeah.
I'd really like to knee that
I'm trying to
turnbuckle, but
get
your
in there.
body is right in the way of it.
Quite annoying where you're sat.
Whereas Andrade is more like, my knob's now in your face.
Yeah. I mean, she probably weighs a little bit less than Andrade.
Well,
so,
perhaps,
you know,
yeah. Yeah, $1.50. So yeah, it was not a great match, and not really a good showing for Duke and Shafir either. I didn't think.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit weird overall. It didn't feel like, I feel like Io Shirai's introduction to the NXT home crowd beyond doing, obviously, because I guess Mae Young Classic was filmed there, so
yep.
I guess that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been shown to them before, but like I feel like for that her first singles match, it should be a singles match, and that's it. I think you want to bring her in. Go, here is Io Shirai. She's going to be a really big deal on this roster. I know putting her with Dakota Kai makes it seem like she's at least going to be like a favourite and a fan. But yeah, it felt weird here to have her just come in for 30 seconds, do all of her moves in a normal NXT squash match style.
Yes.
But against people who were being set up as like the big thing, like the big
yeah,
threat.
that was it. And it was weird because like when they announced that it was going to be this tag match, I did think to myself, I don't read the spoilers or anything like that, and I was like, well, I mean, surely you'd want to give Duke and Shafir a win in their first match, but God, it seems weird that they would beat Io Shirai in her first match in NXT, and Dakota Kai's on a bit of a roll at the moment, so it seems weird for them to lose as well. So I guess I was surprised that they lost their first, their in-ring debut in NXT.
I just would have thought that cheating would have happened, and it would have been, and at least Dakota Kai has been bullied before, so she could have taken the pinfall here. It probably wouldn't have damaged her that much. It only makes her more of the underdog that she's playing.
Exactly, yeah. And I get that you want to use Duke and Shafir as like you have to beat them before you get to the final boss of Shayna Baszler, and I'm fine with that. I think that's a really good story to tell. But I also think you want to give Duke and Shafir some credibility. Yes. In terms of being lackeys to Baszler, so they're not just
Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, otherwise then there was Bebop and Rocksteady, or Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury, J&J Security. Like you want them to feel like credible threats, not Briscoe Patterson.
The Singh brothers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a whole host of lackeys for people. So. Yeah, not a hot opening to this show. We then got a video package for... so, it turns out we've been saying his name wrong.
Dijakovic.
Yeah, it's Dijakovic.
Yeah, Dijakovic.
Diet
Djokovic.
Oh, can I have a Djokovic? You got a diet one?
Yeah,
I'd prefer a diet one, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we got a video package for I said it wrong again.
Dijakovic.
Donovan Dijak. It's so simple. Yeah. It's right there. Now we're sitting here for 5 minutes going, I sound like an absolute idiot because I don't know what I'm saying. So we got a video package for him. Then we got a recap of Matt Riddle beating Punishment Martinez 2 weeks ago and Cassius Ohno knocking him out with the elbow on the apron. And then Riddle's doing a press thing earlier in the day. I do like these press things that they do backstage, or outside the building. Although you can often see that the lads who are holding out their phones aren't recording anything because they're locked.
Yeah.
It's a simple thing, guys. Voice memo, just put it in.
Hold it upside down, or delete it, or whatever. Yeah, there's so many options here.
Just give it some credibility. But I thought Riddle was really cool here, as he always is, and he dared Cassius Ohno to meet him in the ring because he will knock him out in 7 seconds again. I thought it was cool. That was a cool promo.
I did enjoy the bit at the end where he was like, "Yeah, I got stuff to do now, so see you later."
I've got to go.
Yeah, he was on his way to like In-N-Out Burger or something. I got things to do.
Yeah,
I'm quite hungry.
Got a man to see. Wink, wink. Then we got the in-ring debut of Dominik Dijakovic. Dijakovic, thank you. I've even written it out like phonetically, and I'm still getting it wrong.
Dominic Dijonais.
Yeah, it's good. Double D against Aaron Mackey. Jobber to the stars this week.
We've seen him before, haven't we?
Have we?
Yeah, I feel like we've seen Aaron Mackey before.
I don't remember him. I think Aaron Mackey. Anyway, Donovan Dijak beat him up a lot. He did some really cool like toss suplex things where you sort of lift him up and just go like, off you go.
Time to fly.
Yeah, I mean, we'd sort of said that Jessamyn Duke was a shouty, like screaming wrestler. He's very talkative. Yeah.
But he's also got, I like the fact he's worked out hand actions as well. It's like,
feast your eyes. Very talky.
Knees and toes.
Such a talkative man is Dijakovic. Whatever his name is. Anyway, he does a fall-away slam and feast your eyes, and then hits an awesome reverse go to sleep for the win.
That's one of the best moves I've seen.
Oh, mate, it's so good. And I tell you what, credit to Mackey for the selling of that job as well, because he came down perfectly, knee right to the face. Oh, it was brilliant.
That's the way he continued to lift his knee afterwards, as if he's like, I just put that through you.
Yeah.
Like, boom.
So cool.
What
It's going to be
cool finisher.
It's going to be even more awesome when he does it to Keith Lee. It's going to be so cool when he does it to Keith Lee next year. I guarantee it's going to happen.
No, Keith Lee's no. He's not going to get a chance.
Oh, he's totally.
None of them will.
Oh, I'm sure they will. NXT's fine.
He'll go away for a bit. He'll have a promo package and come back as Keith Leakovich.
Keithus Leovich.
Keithus Leakovich.
We then got a video package for Heavy Machinery. They'll be in action next. You can tell how last minute this NXT call-up lark they're doing. They're on their way to WWE because no mention of it whatsoever on this episode.
Got a title shot next week.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Absolutely no mention whatsoever that Heavy Machinery and Lacey Evans and Nikki Cross and EC3 are all going up to the main roster. No mention of it whatsoever. Clearly,
we don't know how long it's going to be till they get to the main roster, do we?
No, I know we don't. But my point is that it was clearly a last-minute decision. They literally, give me 6 names. I'll take those 6. And then they were like, oh, Christ, now what are we going to do?
Who wrestles for your little yellow one?
The yellow one over there. But I don't want any of your top guys. I don't want people who are in the storylines. Just give me 6 others.
Yeah, 6 randos.
Yeah, exactly.
The one with the stakes and the weights.
The brilliant video packages. I want the one that says Tucky a lot. Tucky.
And Tucky as well, I guess. Keep him happy.
Exactly. We announced that Io Shirai is going to be part of that Fatal 4-Way #1 Contenders match, which is going to take place next week. We're not going to be around to review that episode because it's the holiday season and we're going to be elsewhere. We're not going to be here. I'm not coming in.
I am here.
Are you here?
Doing it. Yeah, I'm here on that day.
You here on that day? Okay. Well, I'm not, so we won't be doing it.
I'm just doing news though. So
yeah, that's fine.
I'm not reviewing NXT for you.
No, it's fine. I mean, I can't imagine.
I'll do a one-man ramble.
Hello, NXT was good. Feast your eyes. So the #1 Contenders lineup is Bianca Belair versus Io Shirai versus Mia Yim versus Lacey Evans, and that will determine the new #1 contender to Shayna Baszler.
Lacey Evans ain't winning.
She
ain't winning.
She might do. You never
She
know.
might do.
That women's right. Women's right.
The women's right.
Women's right. Punch to your face.
I killed you with my fist.
And my fist, it's so hard it punched you right in your face. I can't do that on Raw, can she?
No.
#Facebreak will be well annoyed.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're going to build towards. It'll be
women's right
women's
first.
rights versus #Facebreaker.
No. And then when they collide
the
it'll
ring
be
explodes.
Dragon Ball.
Oh man, why aren't we in charge of this company? We then got Heavy Machinery versus 2 dudes whose names I did not write down. Did you? Did they get names?
I don't think they got named. One of them looked like a much skinnier Mark Andrews with the gear.
So you?
Yeah, he looked like an idiot. And the other one looked 14.
Yeah. Very, very young. I think they said their names on commentary, but I did not pick them up. I was too busy just enjoying Heavy Machinery doing their thing.
The work experience boys got nailed.
Oh, man, these poor interns.
Yeah.
Heavy Machinery did their usual stuff. Tucker Knight's got this really cool spot where he picks you up into a power slam and then just charges you into the corner turnbuckle, just going, ah,
over and over again. Yeah.
Very, very
the
good.
snow plow.
Yeah. It's very cool. And then the Undisputed Era come out onto the ramp and be like, look at us, we're the Undisputed Era.
We're
you guys are
smuggity smug.
Smuggity smug. And you guys are idiots. And then Heavy Machinery had the match won with the compactor. But then Otis pulls up one of the dudes to be like, no, Tucky, we're going to do some more.
Tucky, one more Tucky.
One more Tucky. And they do a double trash compactor. Otis picks up both of them at the same time.
Which
and
is
they
crazy,
do the
'cause he's got quite short arms for a man his width.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's an oddly proportioned fellow. Great.
Yeah.
It's so unique and so brilliant.
He's like an albatross had a wingspan, but it was the body that was included in the wingspan.
Yeah.
And it was just more body than tiny little wings. That's what he is.
Great. I bloody love Otis Dozovic. He's so good. Yeah, they hit the double compactor for the win. That looked so awesome. And I liked as well. You got Adam Cole. Adam Cole sold this brilliant as well because he had this look on his face. It was like, I'm worried, but I'm not going to show you that I'm worried. I'm like, yeah. I mean, that was scary, guys. But let's not show too much that we're afraid.
A little bit of that as well. He was
Yeah.
just like, and then he was like, "Yeah, nothing.
But
I could probably do that."
But Roderick Strong, I think the idiot of the group who just thinks now that I'm part of this group, I'm unbeatable.
Yeah.
It's just like, ha, guys, we've got this. Got a tag belt, and I'm like, no, man, you're gonna get killed next week. So I thought it was a fun little squash match for Heavy Machinery. They are Street Profits were my favourite tag team in NXT last year that weren't champions. Heavy Machinery are my favourite tag team of NXT in 2018. I hope they get some good stuff on the main roster, but
they won't.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to be positive. The tag team division seems to be taken seriously, at least on SmackDown this week. So maybe they can
taking it seriously, just using the other ones.
No, but I'm taking it seriously in that it wasn't all about rap battles or turkey suits or all that or the nonsense. It wasn't pancakes being thrown around everywhere.
I mean, they did feature 4 different tag teams in one match.
It was crazy, wasn't it? Mad. So a decent episode of NXT. Nothing spectacular, with the exception of that main event, which was absolutely awesome.
It was about half the show.
Admittedly,
exactly. If you want to watch half an hour of amazing wrestling and you are up to date on your Gargano Ciampa goings on, watch that. It's fantastic.
Couldn't agree more. Absolutely. Yeah. If you want to watch like Heavy Machinery, have fun squashes, I would certainly watch that one. And the main event you've got to check out, but you could probably skip. Unless you really want to see Feast Your Eyes, you can probably skip that and the opening tag
just
match.
Find a GIF of his finisher, though.
Oh, man. Yeah, absolutely. Find a GIF.
Just get a GIF of whatever that's called.
Absolutely.
The Go to Sleepikovic.
That is all we have got time for on this edition of the WrestleRamble. Thank you so much for watching for the short amount of time we've been doing this thus far. Looking forward to doing it again in the new year. It's all down to your Patreon backing, really. So thank you so much for all getting involved. We'll see you in 2019. But before then, click the videos that appeared on our laps right in front of us to catch up with the latest WrestleTalk awesome things, and this button right here to subscribe yourself to the podcast version of the show with its own exclusive intros and outros. I've been Luke Owen. This has been El Fakador Laurie Blake, and that was NXT Rambling.